In the last episode we created two sites on one Sketchbox, and that's great. So if we wanted to access those sites, we would just do something like 192.168.33.10 slash and the name of the folder that we installed that site on. So in our case WordPress. Of course this doesn't work now since I didn't start up my Vagrant, and the other one was another site. So in this episode we're going to learn how, instead of writing this IP right here, we can just do something like wp.dev or another site.dev to access those sites. Okay, so first of all, let's just start up Vagrant. So cd into awesome projects that we made the last time, and just do Vagrant up and wait for a few seconds. So the Vagrant is booted and ready, and now we can access our WordPress site if we want. So this should work now, of course, and we can access another site that we made that is using the Sketchbox's index.php. So just do another site, and then we get this page. Okay, so let's do something to our Sketchbox so that we can access it via another site .dev or .local or whatever domain name you want to give it, and wp.dev. So those are the names we are going to be using. So in our awesome projects we are just going to do Vagrant SSH to SSH into our Sketchbox. Okay, so now that we are here, we're going to go to cd etc Apache 2 and then sites available, and just list this right here. So as you can see, we have this default configuration, default SSL configuration, and sketchbox.localconf. So this is the file we need. And we're not going to actually use that file, but we're going to create another file. So I'm just going to copy and rename this file. So you just do cp sketchbox.local.conf, and we're going to name our file by the name of our domain. So it's going to be named wp.dev.conf. Okay, so you have to do this with sudo, so sudo cp and so on. Okay, now that we did that, if we list our files, we can see that we have this wp.dev.conf file. So we are going to edit that file now. So we just do sudo wp.dev sudo nano wp.dev.conf. Okay, and now we have this virtual host file. So all we need to do is change those domains. So instead of Sketchbox local, we're going to use wp.dev, and then we're going to use wp.dev right here. And now we have our site in var www public, but it's not going to be in this file. It's going to actually be in the name of the file that we created in the last video, and that was WordPress. So that should be it. You just do Control X and then you say yes, and file name to write is this. Okay, so now that we did that, we need to refresh that file, so let it know that the configuration is running. So I'm just going to write this right here. So I just do sudo a2 and site and do the file we just created, so wp.dev.conf. Okay, so now that you did that, it says you should reload Apache. So you just do service Apache 2 reload. Okay, and now our service is reloaded. We just do exit from our SSH. We don't need it anymore. Now the next thing we need to do, we need to change the configuration of our host file. So you have host files on practically every operating system. So you have it on Linux, you have it on Mac OS, and you have it on Windows. I don't exactly know where it's located on Windows. You have to Google that. But on Unix machines and Linux machines and Mac OS machines, it's usually in etc/hosts. So I'm going to do sudo and then do etc hosts and Sublime actually before that, because I want to open it in my editor, and I just give it a password. And now this is my host file, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take that IP that we use right here, so this one, and reroute it to our site. So I'm just going to copy this out. As you can see, I already have some sites that I'm using on my Vagrant box. So 192.168.33.10, and the domain of our site should be wp-dev. And I think that should be it. Just save this, and this should hopefully work now. So if we go to wp.dev, we get this for some reason. Maybe we should have restarted our Vagrant. So I'm just going to do Vagrant reload. Okay, so now that the Vagrant is reloaded, let's try this one again. And as you can see, I get this site. So let's just quickly do this again for another site. We can still access it from 192.168.33.10 and just another site. But as you can see, it looks exactly the same as the Scotchbox's welcome page. So I'm just going to go to cd to public directory and then to another site and open it up in Sublime. So, and I'm just going to change this a little bit. So instead of all of this, I'm going to say, let me just see, so welcome. Okay, so we're going to change this title right here. So instead of welcome to Scotchbox, and remove all of this right here. Save it. Let's check it out. So another site. Okay, so let's just do all the steps again. So we have to back up to our awesome projects directory and do Vagrant, but not reload. We have to do SSH and SSH into our box, and then we just do cd etc Apache 2 sites available, and then we can actually now copy. So sudo cp, not sp, cp, sudo cp, so wp.dev.conf, and we are going to copy it to be another site.dev.conf. Okay, and then we just do sudo nano and do another site dev. Site dev, and it's not in the WordPress folder but in another site folder. Did I spell everything correctly? I did. Okay, save it. Yes, exit, not exit, but we do sudo a to end site, so to enable this site, and it's called another site.dev.conf, and we have to do service Apache 2 reload. Okay, so we reloaded the server, and then we just exit it, and we can reload our Vagrant. And while this is reloading, I'm just going to go to change my etc file. Okay, so sudo sublime etc hosts, and we just do the same thing as we did with this one. So I'm just going to copy this out, paste it right here, and just do another site.dev. Save this, see if okay, my Vagrant is reloaded right now, and this should hopefully work. Another site.dev. Okay, and we get this. So it's pretty easy. So now you know how you can add multiple sites to your Sketchbox and how to make these virtual hosts to access them pretty easily instead of using .ip. So this is it for this episode. In the next episode, actually next series, because this is the end of the Vagrant series, I just wanted to show you this couple of things to get you started on your local web development using Vagrant. And the next series is probably going to be something about WordPress. I'm not 100% sure what, but maybe it will be WordPress theming or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, I have to think about it, but it's coming pretty soon, so you will see. Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please follow me on Twitter or on Facebook, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you like the content I put out, and I think that's it. I'll see you in the next one.